Hi, this is Katrina Cross from Woodrow Handcrafts, and in today's tutorial we'll be working with the Digitizer version 5 software. We're going to be creating a basic design of a pretty lady in a silhouette. So what we're going to do to start with is we've opened up our software, and the next step is we need to go and select our artwork. So we come up here to our artwork icon. We click on our artwork icon and we go through and we pick our artwork out. So our artwork is in our digital artwork file, and there we go. So we're looking for the pretty lady one. So this is all can be downloaded off our website in our lesson packs that we do. So now that we've brought it in, you can see here that it does not quite fit in the hoop. So we've got this set up for the Memory Craft 15,000, and the hoop that's currently selected is SQ23 hoop. So we're going to change it through, change the hoop to the GR hoop. So that's the one that's a little larger. So you can see now on the screen that the lady fits nicely inside that hoop. So the first step of what we're going to do is we're going to come over here to our toolbar on the left hand side of the screen, and we're going to open up the Digitize toolbar. And we're going to digitize blocks is the tool that we're going to use, and then we want to check that we've got it selected on a fill up the top here, and we also want to check that we've got it selected as a satin stitch over in our object properties. So we want to change that and make sure we've got it selected. Okay. The other thing we want to do is come down the bottom here, and we want to make sure that our auto split is turned off. So we're going to unselect that one. And we want to make sure that we've got black, because we're going to create her dress to start with. So we've got our black selected. So we're going to zoom in nice and close here on the lady's dress. And we're going to create that first panel that goes all the way down to here. We're not going to worry about all this aspect of the artwork. So what we've done, and we've talked about this in past tutorials, is about even though some aspects of the artwork are there, we don't always use all of them. Okay, so we're going to zoom in nice and close, and we're going to use our Digitize block. So we're just going to start up here, and we're going to work our way around. So remembering to use your left click to start with, and then your right clicks to create your curves. And we're going to keep working all the way down, following the line as it gets thinner through her waist, and back out to create the fullness of her skirt. And all the way down through her hips. So we can see a bit better. And continue all the way down to the flare of her skirt. And I'm just going to follow over the pattern of the flowers. And then when we get down to the bottom here, we're going to left click with our mouse, and then right click again to create those curves at the end. So once we get to the end, we can hit enter on our keyboard, And we'll zoom out, and we've created the first panel of our dress. So if we press D on our keyboard now, and we can hide our artwork, you can see that we've created one line of this skirt. So the next thing is we want to zoom in, and we're going to continue working around on our skirt until we've got all aspects of the skirt created. Okay, so we've worked our way down now onto the second panel of the dress, and when you get down to the bottom here, you'll see that it cuts out a bit. So you've got a bit of a cutting on the skirt part through here. So we come down here using our Digitizing Block toolbar, and then when we get to here, what we're going to do is we're going to select our Digitize Close Shape. We're going to check that we've got our fill selected, check that we've got our satin stitch selected, and check that we've got auto split off. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to line up with where we finish with those last stitches, and then we're going to work our way around and create that last panel, and then press enter. So you can see here when we press enter that the stitches on the main part of the dress and the part that we just created don't line up, they're on different angles. So we're going to change our angle of the part that we've just created. So we go up and we just select it, so we've got the little pink line around the outside, and then we go over to our stitching in our object properties, and you'll see that it says there that our angle stitch is set on 15. So we're just going to, actually we'll go the other way. We're going to change that stitch. We're going to continue, there we go, continue around until those two stitch select sections, try that again, those stitch sections line up. So we're nearly there. There we go. So you can see now that they're quite clear. And now what we're going to do is we need to make sure that the stitch that ends on this part is going to line up with the bit on the next part, so you get that continuous flow through. You don't get this bit and then you get a tie off and jump stitch and all that sort of bulk underneath. So we're going to select our reshape, and we can see that our little cross is down here, and then we're going to select this one here and select reshape and check that they're on. Yep. So we can see there that they're at the same position, so we know that they're going to continue on. So the next part now is we're going to go up and create the third part. So you can see here there's a cutout in her top of her dress where her cleavage is. So we're going to repeat that same process but in reverse. So this time for the third panel of the dress, we're going to select Digitize Close Shape to start with. Check that we've got our fill selected. Check we've got satin stitch selected, and check that we've got an auto split off. And we're going to create that little panel up here. So just as we had at the base of the dress, we're now going to do that for the top of this part of the dress. Actually, go back. So just backspace that one and bring it out a little bit. There we go. And enter. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to select Digitize Blocks, check that we've got our fill selected, check we've got our satin stitch selected, and we're going to create the rest of the dress. So I'm going to start there and just continue around, like so. So now that we've created both aspects of the dress, we need to go back up here and we need to change our stitch angle of the first bit that we created so they match up through here. So change our stitch angle until all our stitches line up. And just keep working around. There we go. So now what we need to do is check where our finishing stitch is. So we're going to finish over here. So we need to make sure this section down here starts at that same. So select that one, check. Yep, they're both lined up. So we know that that one there, I'll probably bring this out. I'll just adjust that a little bit. Bring that in, that angle. So there. Yep. Okay. There we go. So now we have 3 parts of the dress created. All the way down. So if we turn our stitches off, so D on our keyboard, you'll see that our dress is slowly starting to form. Okay. So we're going to go up here, we're going to create our 4th panel now. So with this one, we can just work off our digitized blocks because there isn't a big cutout at the top, so we can sort of work our way around that. So we check that we've got our fill selected, check that we've got our satin stitch selected, check that our auto splits off, and we're going to start up here. So we're just going to use our right clicks to create that curve. And we're going to continue doing that until we get all the way down to the base of the dress. When you finish completing the dress, we're now going to go through and we're going to create all the silhouette lines of the lady now. So we're still going to keep using digitized closed blocks with a fill and a satin stitch. We're going to start up here on her arm. We're just going to work our way around underneath of her arm, creating that curve. Nope, not happy with that, so I'm just backspace. There we go. All the way down to her elbow. And all the way down to her wrist. Okay, and enter. So we created the under part of her arm. We're now going to go through and we're going to create the back part of her neck and down through her shoulder and the outside of her arm. We're then going to come up here and we're going to create this other side of the shoulder and finish with her chin through there. We're not going to worry about her earring, but we're going to come around and do the rim of her hat now. Okay, so once we've finished our dress, so if we turn our stitches off by pressing D on our keyboard, you can see now we've got our pretty ladies all dressed up. So we're going to turn our stitches back on and we're going to go over and we're going to create our flowers now. So we're creating them with the cross stitch pattern. So we're going to go over and select Digitize Close Shape. We're going to select our fill and we're going to select our cross stitch from our object properties. All the other information that's already in there in regards to the cross density and our stitch and thread types, we're just going to leave that as factory settings. We're also going to check to see what color we've got. We want to make sure that we've got our blue selected, and now we're just going to create our petal. So we're just creating one of the petals to start with, and all the way up to the tip and back around and back to the beginning and enter. So once we've created that cross stitch on there, the next thing we're going to do is we're going to cut out our hole in the center. So we're going to select the petal from the object, from the resequencing tool on the right hand side, and then from our toolbox on the left hand side we're going to select Digitize Hole. And we're going to zoom in here and we're going to create our hole. We'll start down here and we're just going to work our way around, creating our hole in the center till we get back to where we started. So once we get back, we go enter twice on our keyboard. There we go. And that's created our hole. So the next step we want to do is we need to check where our start and finishing points are. So you can see that our start point is down the bottom there, which is good, but our finishing point's up the top here. So we want to move our finishing point down so that they start and finish at the same place, like so. So we're happy with that. So we can click off that now. So now we're going to create our outline of our petal. So we're going to go over here to our toolbox and we're going to select our Digitize Open Line. We're going to select a single run line and we're going to change our stitch to 4. Okay. So remembering where our stitch finished down here, that's where we're going to start. So what we're going to do is we're going to come, let's see which way we're going to come. We come from this way and we're going to work our way around. So we're going to go up. So we're just working on a rough outline at the moment. We'll come back and fine tune it once we've got the stitch visible so we can see. Okay. So when we get back to here, we're going to then come back this way and work our way back around. So the reason we do that is the way that the petals will be overlapped, it will create a flow in the actual stitching aspect of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to layer our petals around, and as the machine then stitches them out, it will stitch one petal and then continuously work onto the next one and around and around. So that's why we want to stop and start in the center on both parts of the petal. So then you won't have any jump stitches or anything like that. You won't end up with a big nest underneath your embroidery. So we're just going to hit enter. Okay. And we're going to zoom out and have a look. So you can see there's a couple of areas that we want to fine tune. So we're just going to come up here to our reshape, select our reshape, and we're just going to go around and fine tune them. So just keep working around Don't forget you can add little nodes in when you need them and take them out. So you can bring that out a bit more. Okay, so just keep doing that until you're happy with the outline on your petal. So once you're happy with your outline and your cross stitch, what we're then going to do is we need to select both these pieces in the petal. So you're going to select both pieces in the petal, and we want to go Control G to group them. So you can now see over here in the resequencing there's two little boxes beside them. So that means that they're grouped together. We're then going to minimize our Digitize toolbox, and we're going to open our layout toolbox. And then we're going to select circle layout. So we're going to click on that, and then watch if we move this around here. So when we've got it all nice and centered, we enter. And now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 petals. And you'll see over here that we've now got 5. So now what we're going to do is we're going to, so that they're all grouped as well, we're going to come over here to our resequence, and we're going to change to colours. So you can see now that we've got the black and the blue. If we click on the blue, it will now select everything that we've created in the blue. And that's how we want to keep it. So we're going to have it all selected in there. We're then going to come up here and we're going to duplicate. And then we're going to come over here and we're going to rotate left twice. So you go 1, 2, there we go. And click off. So now we've got our big flower. While we've still got our resequence changed over to our colours, we're going to select our blue again, and that's going to select all our flower. And this is the easy part. So now what we're going to do is we're going to duplicate our flower again. We're now going to change it to 80%. So we've got this locked up here. So when we type in 80% for our width, the height will adjust to 80% too. So 80% and enter. And then we're going to select the colour. Let's have an example. Number 21, which is yellow green. Okay, so now it's a different colour. And we're just going to use our keys on our keyboard. So I'm just using my arrows to move it into place. Like so. So just see now. So you're going to just overlap a little bit. So now you come over here to our resequence and you can see that we've still got it selected, the green. So we've got all that part selected. We're going to come up here to a duplicate. We're going to copy it again. We're going to change it to 80% again. And we're going to change the colour to 28 red. And then while we've still got that selected, we're going to move our flower into place. And move it up a bit. Like so. Yep. And while we've got that selected, we're going to do that again. And that will be our last one. So we're going to copy it again, duplicate it, knock it back to 80%, enter. Number 8 for yellow, and move our flower into place. So remember how we were talking about how you can leave some aspects of your design behind and keep some? So that's what we've come up with so far. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think that's quite nice. So what we're going to do now is you can see that from the image that we've got here on our hoop, it's not exactly the same as our stitch out. So we want our flowers to go behind our lady. So what we're going to do is come over here to our resequence, and while we've got it selected in the colours, we're going to select the black. So that's all the lady, and we're going to resequence her so she's the last thing that stitches out. Like so. And while we've got our black selected, we're going to come over here and we're going to edit objects, and we're going to remove our overlap. So we're going to come down here, remove overlaps, and let it do its thing. So there we go. So what that's done now is it's sorted all out in here so you don't have huge amounts of dense stitches over and over the top of each other. Okay. And that's our lady. So she's all finished now, so you can write her to USB and stitch away. Thanks for joining into this week's tutorial. If you're interested in any more, feel free to hop onto our website www.woodrowhandcrafts.com, and we have plenty of tutorials available free for you to download and watch.